40 insane games coming out to PlayStation 5 in 2025 and 2026. Games in all styles. So I'm sure you'll like it. Click on the like button and subscribe for more. Thank you, and let's go. Dune: The Dark Ages is the next adventure of this beloved FPS series. The game is being developed by the studio ID Software and is coming out on May 13, 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows. The game will be a prequel, set before of Doom 2016, but here Doomslayer will be as brutal as never before, with new melee weapons and firearms. The enemies looks really good, and the players will also have the possibility to control a flying dragon and a huge mecha robot. What looks extremely brutal, so if you like the last games of the series, this is a great game for you. Death Stranding 2 is the sequel of the acclaimed original game. Again, it's being developed by Kojima Productions, and it's coming out in June 26, 2025, to PlayStation 5. In the future, it's probably coming out to Windows and maybe Xbox. Death Stranding is a unique and original game. The gameplay mixes walking simulator with building features, combat, and an insane story and storytelling. And the sequel will continue the story of Sam, the protagonist of the game, and now the players will continue to explore and connect the people, but also see the aftermath of the first game.
We want you to help us bring the world together.
Sam, would you mind if I joined you?
Humor him. His knowledge and experience will probably come in handy down the road.
Yes.
The plan, Sam. The UCA isn't looking to expand its borders. Just like with Mexico, they want to bring new regions into the network. Anyway, the DHV Magellan's here to back you up. As always, you'll be the one leading the way to expand the network.
Crimsom Desert is an insane, upcoming open-world RPG. The game is being developed by the studio Pearl Abyss, and it's coming out still in 2025, but with no specific date yet. But it's coming out to Xbox Series X and Series S, PlayStation 5, and PC. This is one of those games that are even hard to believe that they're really good as they look. The graphics are insane. The world seems huge and massive, and is a game with a lot of features like glide, parkour, a nice combat style, dragon ride, and much more. And if it's as good as it looks, it'll be one of the best games of this year.
I pray for their grace, but all that came were inferior shades. Why do we have to bear the consequences of such power?
Time. War.
Ballad of Antara is an upcoming action RPG. The game is set in a sort of open world with a fast and fluid combat style. Through the game, the player will be able to play with multiple characters, even changing the one you're playing in real time, but just if they are with you in the battle. The game is being developed by the studio Tipsworks Studio and is coming out in some moment of 2025 to PlayStation 5 and Windows. The game features an interesting feature, a sort of change of dimension, kind of similar to the last Lords of the Fallen, and it looks really good here. And the boss fights looks really sick. So I'm really curious about this one.
Wayward emissaries, grant us the...
We did not betray this world.
This desolate land needs a sprinkle of madness.
Remember, no matter what happens, we did not betray this world.
A path that might have been. What if my mother had obeyed her orders and given birth to a girl before his betrayal? A world where my father lives. House Atreides surviving the Battle of Archeage. Sardaukar deployed to Fremen. Exterminated. No, Muad'Dib.
Dune Awakening is a new upcoming MMORPG. Yeah, that's an online game. It's set in the universe of Dune, obviously, and it promises to be a huge adventure for the fans, and even for those who don't know the series. The game is being developed by the studio Funcom, and it finally got a release date already. And it is May 20th, 2025, and it's coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Windows. Rise from survival to greatness and challenge the power of an Imperium in Dune Awakening, an insane online experience to have with your friends.
Survive it.
Of redemption, you were chosen, thrown together by forces beyond our control.
Elden Ring Nightring is a new game set in a version of the world of Elden Ring. The game is being developed by From Software and is coming out on May 30th, 2025 to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Series S, and Windows. The game will be set in a roguelike style. You choose a class in the start and must survive in the map as you advance and fight enemies and bosses, getting better items and weapons. If you die, you restart all, and as you proceed, the map will start closing, similar to a battle royale game, and the focus here will be co-op. So if you like this style, this one looks good.
Little pillager, bent on sacking the lands of gold. I will swat away any and all who dare approach.
The life of the Night Lord.
Father told us to hide when they came to our house. Then they took him away. Mother said I couldn't play outside anymore.
Hell Is Us is a new action-adventure game with some RPG mechanics. The game will be set in a semi-open world, in a dark and mysterious universe. The game is being developed by the studio Rogue Factor, and it got a release date already, and it is September 4th, 2025, and it'll be available on Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. In an isolated country ravaged by infighting, discover the secrets of your past and deal with the repercussions of a mysterious calamity. A game with beautiful graphics and an immersive gameplay. So just make sure you remember this one.
Mother always said monsters didn't exist. I thought they lived under my bed. We were both wrong. They live inside our heads.
A.I.L.A. is an interesting upcoming first-person survival horror set in a futuristic world. The game is being developed by the studio Pulsatrix Studios and is coming out to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows, but there's no release date yet, but it shall be released in 2025 or 2026. A first-person horror game set in a near future filled with immersive technology. Play as the sole game tester for a revolutionary new fictional AI. Survive intense horror experiences that prey on your deepest fears as the lines between virtual and reality begin to blur. The art of the game looks really good, so I want to see the final version.
Legacy can take many forms, right? Learn from the ones who came before.
Is that a Kestrel?
I still can't believe they exist.
To what do we owe the pleasure of your company? I just need one foot. Aha!
You can turn into a Levron.
Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is one of the most beautiful, in a matter of realistic graphic style, turn-based RPGs I've ever seen. The game is being developed by the studio Sandfall Interactive, and this one got a confirmed release date already. That's April 24th, 2025, and it's coming out of PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Windows. The game features a beautiful and realistic graphic style, with impressive visuals and style. The combat isn't a turn-based system, but with action mechanics too, like pressing in right time to defend or attack stronger. It seems that the world will be huge, with a lot of possibilities and things to explore too. What sounds fun?
Do you mean we're the only ones left?
Off your arse!
Do the same for that one. Hey! Hey, you! Get out of here! Calm down. I'm going. Good choice.
You have a good day, too.
Gothic Remake. The legend is back. Return to the Valley of the Minds in this faithful remake of the genre-defining classic RPG. Explore a handcrafted, organic open world that reacts dynamically to your actions in a gritty, unrestricted experience like no other. The game the remake of a classic RPG game. It's being developed by the studio Alchemy Interactive, and it's coming out probably in 2025 to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The original game was released over 20 years ago, in 2001, and it's a very good and fun RPG game. So if you like big and massive RPG games, that's a good one.
There's the life. You had your share, Matt. Get lost. Get lost.
Time to put that booty to good use.
Come on, fry him! Yeah!
I really thought you could get away with this, eh? Wait.
Every good story is true in one way or another. Dr. Jones. So what I'd like to do is put the guns down.
Go ahead.
So what brings you to the Vatican, Indy?
I'm looking for someone.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a game that was already released, but on Xbox Series X and Series S and Windows, but it was also confirmed to PlayStation 5, and it's coming out still in 2025. The game was developed by the studio Machine Games, and is an insane stealth FPS set in the universe of Indiana Jones. In the game, you can explore different locations, all of them with a lot of things to do and explore. The combat of the game is simple. It's not an FPS game like Call of Duty, but a stealth game that you can also use firearms, but they are not so simple to use. But I highly recommend you the game.
He stole something from me, and I mean to find out why.
Right now, I'm looking into the disappearance of my sister. And I believe...
They think it's a conduit of some kind of power, correct?
Boss certainly does. He believes it'll secure his place in history. There's a trigger.
Borderlands 4 is the next adventure of the beloved universe of Borderlands. The game is being developed by the studio Gearbox Software. This will be released on Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, PlayStation 5, and Microsoft Windows. The game got a release date already. That is September 23rd, 2025. You probably know the series already, but if you don't, it's a looter-shooter series set in a first-person camera with a unique and charismatic graphic style, and it's always been a success since the first game of the series. Last Sentinel is a new game story focused, set in an open world. Believe it or not, but this game is being produced by an old Rockstar Games director. His new studio is Lightspeed, and the game got no release date yet, but is probably coming out to the main platforms, since it wasn't announced too. The game is set decades from now in a reconstructed Tokyo. You play as Hiromi Shota in Last Sentinel, a narrative-focused, open-world action game. That's the briefing of the game. Beyond that, we don't know much more, but it's a game that sounds really interesting. Just hope to see a gameplay trailer soon.
Follow me.
Jordan, tell me something good.
Intergalatic: The Heretic Prophet is the new game developed by the studio that created insane series like The Last of Us, Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Uncharted, and more. The studio is Naughty Dog and is coming out probably in 2026 to PlayStation 5. So far, we didn't see much about the game. What we know is that the game is being developed since 2020 and the graphics looks really good, what's usual of Naughty Dog. The game will be set in a futuristic and fanciful world. The gameplay wasn't announced yet, but in the trailer we see what could resemble a part of it, a sort of hack and slash or Souls-like style. What looks fun.
There, you're the boss. Thank you. Listen, kid.
Sorry, you want to know the year?
What a pleasure to meet a stalker worthy of the name. It's been far, far too long.
You're not the puppet I was expecting. Who are you?
She was looking for someone.
Liza P Overture is a DLC to the original game. Actually, it's going to be almost a new game. What means it'll be huge. The game is being developed by the studio NeoWiz and will be released on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4 and 5, and Microsoft Windows. It'll be released in some moment of 2025, but the date is not confirmed yet. If you played the original game, you know what it's about, but if you didn't, it's a Souls-like game set in the universe of Pinocchio with a lot of charisma and style. The game is fluid and is a nice challenge if you like hard games.
Legendary.
Do whatever it takes. Your survival is all that matters. Nothing else comes close, not even my life. I swear I won't be late. Not again.
The tracks lead this way.
On me. Bloody hell.
Dying Light the Beast is a new action-adventure with horror game. If you know the series, you know what to expect, but it's a game set in a first-person style. You're in a place that's been struck by a zombie infestation. You must survive and fight them with all you've got, all types of weapons, vehicles, and more. The gameplay is really nice, with a fast movement style and insane parkour skills. The game is being developed by the studio Techland, and it's coming out in some moment of 2025 to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series XS, and Windows, and is a game that the fans of the first game should keep an eye out for.
Contact!
If you push too much, you might unleash the beast.
Emergency at Windscale Atom Plant.
Atomfall is a survival FPS game, set in a post-apocalyptic universe. The game is being developed by the studio Rebellion Developments, the same studio of Sniper Elite, and the game is coming out in March 27, 2025 to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows. The game looks really fun, especially for the ones that love single-player games about survival. The first time I saw it, I must say that it got my attention, but to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the studio. But I'll keep an open mind about this one. It looks nice in the trailer, and it's coming out day 1 on Xbox Game Pass.
Now the worst seems to be over. Acquiring target.
Where monsters invade our world. A powerful being falls from the sky. The dream ends. Is this really just a dream? My only hope lies within.
Come, Kaiser. We will travel across worlds, leap through dimensions, together.
Lost Soul Aside is a hack-and-slash game developed by a Chinese studio. The studio is Ulti Zero Games, and the game is going to be released in May 30th, 2025. It's kind of close, and it'll be available on PlayStation 5 and Windows. Embark on an epic odyssey to save your younger sister and the whole of humanity from mysterious dimensional invaders from beyond the starlit skies. The gameplay is fast, fluid, and impressive. The game is inspired in the gameplay of Final Fantasy 15 and Devil May Cry, and it looks really good, with nice visual effects and insane fights.
I see great... Let me be your vengeance. The blade in your hand. Never wanted to be a...
All of the men in this room are bound by blood. This is a family. And in this family is the betrayal. Do you wish to commit yourself, your life, to this family?
Mafia the Old Country is the fourth game of an acclaimed and beloved series. I mean, the third game is not that beloved, but there are some fans of it too. The game is being developed by the studio Hangar 13, the studio responsible for Mafia 3. As I said, it's not the most beloved game, but they also did Mafia 1 Remake. That's an excellent game, and now it'll be their new chance of creating a good story. The game will be released in 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Windows. The game will be set before the other games, in the start of 20th century, and promises to be a game with a great storytelling like the first two games.
To become a man of honor, Repeat these words.
My flesh must burn like this saint. If I do not keep my oath.
Welcome, Enzo.
You've met humans. And imagine that they once ruled this very world.
It's a realm surrounded by springs and waterfalls, where flowers...
A.I. Limit is an interesting action RPG game. In the Souls-like style, the game is being developed by the studio Sense Game. In the beloved Souls-like style, the game is being developed by the studio Sense Games and is coming out in March 27th, 2025 to PlayStation 5 and Windows. The game features a fast and fluid gameplay style. What's important in a Souls-like game? The graphic is in a mix of a sword anime style with some realistic aspects. In this post-apocalyptic wasteland sci-fi action RPG, the player will play as Arisa, a blader with immortality, and explore the city ruin to find the hope of a new life. The game looks fun, and it's close to be released, so I hope it's as good as it looks.
It's best if you both sides suffer heavy losses.
We are the same. Seeking after far-fetched goals with crippled memories.
They control the rules in Atomfall. And humans are waterfalls, where flowers bloom and trees thrive.
I wish I hadn't come here for this. I found them.
Instinction is a new first-person survival game set in a mix of prehistoric and modern world. Experience an action-adventure full of prehistoric animals, set in the heart of a lost Mesoamerican land cut off from the world by the rift. Survive a mysterious organization and ancient creatures to restore stability and unravel one of the most intriguing stories of modern times. The game is being developed by the studio Hashbane Interactive and is coming out to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. Probably still in 2025 and shall be one of the most realistic video games about dinosaurs so far.
After all this death, if you have the chance to do
I've ever known in my life, our land, our custom.
You are still a frog in a well who knows nothing of the sea. The ocean's filled with new ships, but they all...
Assassin's Creed Shadows is the next adventure in the world of Assassin's Creed. The game, as always, is being developed by Ubisoft and is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, and Microsoft Windows in March 20th, 2025. The game, for the first time in a big Assassin's Creed game, will be set in Japan. You'll be able to play with two different characters, Neo and Yasuke, each one of them with their own style and mechanics. This will be an RPG Assassin's Creed, like Valhalla, Odyssey, and some others, set in a huge map with a lot of things to do.
And we must look for it together.
And you? Will you continue down that river?
Cronos The New Dawn is the third-person survival horror by the studio that brought us the amazing Silent Hill 2 remake. The studio is Bloober Team. I didn't trust the studio to do the remake of Silent Hill 2 back then, but they showed us that they know how to impress us, so I'm curious to see more about this game. It'll be released in some moment of 2025 to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The game throws you into the heart of a deadly struggle against overwhelming foes, all while uncovering the mysteries of a twisted time travel story, with impressive visuals and an impressive immersion. Archeage Chronicles is a new MMORPG that looks mind-blowing. Here, we'll explore Auroria, a vast and vibrant world brimming with rich lore and thrilling action. The game delivers an immersive experience that will capture players' hearts, whether they are newcomers to the setting or seasoned adventurers. The game got an insane visual style with a great combat system. Some people are even considering it a Souls-like game. So imagine fighting insane bosses and enemies with your friends, getting better items and equipment, building your characters the way you want, and much more. So it looks really promising.
We are beyond the edge of Japan. People come north. Still think you're the hunter.
Ghost of Yotei is the next game of the studio Sucker Punch Productions, the studio responsible for Ghost of Tsushima. And the new game is going to be the sequel, set over 300 years after the first game, and obviously, all the characters will be different, so I'm curious to see the game. It's coming out in some moment of 2025, with no release date yet, but this year, and will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, but in some moment will be released on Windows too, I'm sure. The first game was an extremely fun action-adventure game, with some RPG mechanics, and this one will be set in the same style. Killing Floor 3 is the next game of this beloved horror FPS series. The game is being developed by the studio Tripwire Interactive and is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows in March 25th, 2025. The series is known for being extremely fun to play with friends. Yes, it's a sort of co-op game with a lot of personality. The graphics looks really good, looks immersive and fluid, and promises to be a great experience with a lot of content, such as missions, weapons, enemies, and much more. And it's close to be released, so keep an eye out for it. Chrono Odyssey is a new, insane, huge MMORPG. It's a game developed in Unreal Engine 5, a game with impressive graphics and visuals. The game is being developed by the studio Chrono Studio and got no release date yet, but is probably coming out in 2025 or 2026 to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. A vast and intricately designed, seamless open world, dynamic action-based combat mechanics based on time manipulation and extensive customization. These are some of the features of this insane game. So for the fans of online RPG games with a massive world to explore, this is a game for you.
My memory's still a bit blurry. Remember this. Inside my head.
Satellite gives us a 10-minute window. You made it.
That's just leftover hardware. It's been decommissioned. What the hell is happening? All I know is that Silvercorp is a piece of my story.
Mindseye is a story-driven, action-adventure thriller set in a fictional near-future Americana, featuring best-in-class cinematics, high-octane driving, and explosive combat from legendary game director Leslie Benzies. This is a game that promises to be the game to be in the same level of GTA 6 in 2025, and yes, it's being developed by an old Rockstar game director. That's why the hype is real about it. The studio is billed a Rocket Boy, and the game is coming out in some moment of 2025 or 2026 to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows.
Can. Do not lose her! I'm coming to you now! The search and rescue bots. They're malfunctioning.
Little Nightmares 3 is the third adventure, or nightmare, of the series. The game is now being developed by another studio, Supermassive Games, the studio of Until Dawn, The Quarry, and some more games. Little Nightmares 3 is coming out in 2025, but with no official date yet, but will be available on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4 and 5, Switch, and Windows. The adventure now will be set in a co-op experience. But no, you don't need anyone else to play with you. In the case you're going to play alone, an AI is going to help you in the adventure. But surely with a real person will be more fun.
Several years ago, the Dark Dragon, youngest of the divine dragon gods, wreaked havoc across the world. The plot was ultimately thwarted through the efforts of a soul. Dragon's husk remained, and from this husk fell an endless downpour of cursed rain. The abandoned Tokyo continues its struggle against chaos to this day.
Infiltrated the facility.
Ninja Gaiden 4 is the returning of the classic hack-and-slash series. After a long time without a new game, a new one is finally announced. It's being developed by the studio's Platinum Games, Team Ninja, and Koei Tecmo Games, and is planned to be released still in 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, and Microsoft Windows. Ninja Gaiden is a legendary hack-and-slash series. The game mixes a little of exploration in an insane combat style with different weapons and characters. The new game will be set in the same style, but with new characters and with new generation graphics.
This is it. Ryu Hayabusa.
It ends here.
So you've come, brave. Searching house to house.
If they arrest you two, they will take you to their headquarters, and you will not return.
By my count, that makes 2 super soldiers.
Counting you.
And that's 2 too many.
Marvel 1943. Rise of Hydra is a new superhero game coming out. It's being developed by the studio Skydance Interactive and is aimed to be released in some moment of 2025 to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. So far we didn't see much about the game, just a first trailer. That's an excellent trailer, by the way. In the game, we'll play as 4 different characters, American Captain, and Black Panther, some of the greatest Marvel superheroes in the last years. Beyond that, we'll also play as 2 normal soldiers, so I'm really curious to see how the gameplay of each one of them are going to be.
There's some obstacles.
That won't be a problem.
Our cat friend is definitely here too. By the look of things, he's not very far ahead.
The American.
So what do you want?
Answers.
That's far enough!
Stay out of my way!
Stand aside!
I do not take...
Phantom Blade Zero is an insane action RPG game. It's being developed by the Studio S game and is coming out to PlayStation 5 and Windows. The release date is still not confirmed, but they said that it's going to be revealed in 2025, so I believe it's coming out in 2026 or later. The game will be set in a kind of linear map, similar to Dark Souls, but no, it's not a Souls-like game, but action RPG with mechanics that resembles Souls-like games. In the game, we'll play with different weapons, facing different enemies and bosses, finding new items and equipments, and honestly, I'm really hyped about this game. Pragmata is a mysterious game. It's being developed by Capcom, a great video game studio, especially nowadays. It's coming out to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The game was supposed to be released in 2023, but it was postponed, and now we have no idea when it's coming out, and they haven't said or shown anything of the game since it was postponed. But the gameplay in the trailer looks really fun, especially for being so unique and mysterious.
人活进了戏里，还是戏本就因人而在。
Project the Perceiver is an insane upcoming action RPG game. And like most of the RPGs nowadays, we see some inspirations in Souls-like games, since the combat to the boss fights. The game is being developed by the Studio Paper Games, a Chinese studio, and is coming out in 2025 or 2026 to PlayStation 5 and Windows. The game will be set in a beautiful and immense open world with a lot of quests, enemies, and general content. The visual of this game is something mind-blowing with an impressive combat style and movements. So like most of China's game lately, you should keep an eye out for it.
且让你们体会。如何相提并论？一将功成万骨枯，总有。
Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake is the remake of a classic and insane game. And yes, the first attempt to do the remake was cancelled. Thankfully, that seemed bad, but they announced a new version of the remake. So yeah, it's being developed again by Ubisoft and is coming out in some moment of 2026 to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows.
Nothing lasts forever.
Reanimal is a game set in the same style of Little Nightmares, a game with exploration, platformer features, and a lot of puzzles. The game is being developed by the same creators of Little Nightmares, the studio Tarsia Studios, and is coming out in some moment of 2025 to Xbox Series X and Series S, PlayStation 5, and Windows. As you can see, it's a horror game set in a really scary universe, with different types of creatures and more. In the game, you must survive and solve the mysteries of each level to get the access to the next one, all in a very immersive universe.
Ensure the safety of Sokolov and bring him back to the west. Your codename for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. The clock is ticking. This will be a sneak. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment to procure on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
I have to...
Metal Gear Solid Delta is the remake of one of the most beloved games of the master Kojima, Metal Gear 3, and it's being developed by Konami. Just hope they do a great job here. It's coming out to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Windows in August 26, 2025. Metal Gear is a stealth game, set in an extremely unique universe. The things are not what they seem, and the plot of the game is absolutely incredible, especially to its time. The remake will seemingly respect the original game, but bringing a new gameplay style, but keeping the core of the game, that's the stealth.
It always comes back to this. This choice.
Saros is the next game of the studio that developed Returnal, a fun roguelike game released on PlayStation 5. The studio is Housemarque Studios, and as it's a PlayStation studio, it's coming out only on PlayStation 5, at least in the start, and is aimed to be released in 2026. We've just seen one trailer so far, but here we see that the graphics are really good, something Sony's game usually got. And again, the game will be set in a roguelike style, and we'll probably see bullet hell features. That's those games with a lot of things and shots for the player to avoid. What is fun for me?
Every time the sun dies, madness reigns, and everything begins again. Ways come back stronger. I know that you are here.
Onimusha Way of the Sword is the returning of an old and classic series. The game is being developed by Capcom and is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and Microsoft Windows. The release date is confirmed to 2026, but we still don't know when exactly in 2026. The game will be set in the same style of the original games, a game with a hack-and-slash-combat style, but some RPG and puzzle mechanics, set in a dark and magical world, mixing reality with fantasy. What was always really fun to the series, so I'm looking forward to the new one.
Best then, eh?
Swordplay is a game of strength. And you can bring as many friends as you want. So riled up.
Wisdom and kindness. Take the easy times what shape us, nay. 'Tis how we rise. Forgive me, daughter. 'Twere my only choice.
I shall be the bringer of salvation.
The Witcher 4 is the sequel of the acclaimed The Witcher 3, but now, different of the previous games, the protagonist won't be Geralt anymore, but Ciri, one of the most important characters of the third game. It's being developed by the studio CD Projekt Red, the same studio of Cyberpunk and The Witcher, and is probably coming out in 2027, with luck 2026, to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The new game will be totally made in Unreal Engine 5. That's one of the best engines of the moment, with impressive graphics and insane possibilities. So if you like huge and massive RPG games, this is surely one of these. Those are the games I got for today, guys. Click on the like button and subscribe for more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next video.